Indonesia, our social media is once again abuzz by a long-grade case, namely a cyanide coffee case. There are differences of opinion between past and current statements. This has happened because the case was reopened through the documentary entitled Ice Cold, which is now available on Netflix. Let's now take a look at the opinions of both sides after the case has resurfaced and is being discussed on social media. Please Naila with Mr. Dermawan Salihin, Mirna's father.
Thank you, Eileen. I'm here with Mr. Dermawan Salihin, the biological father of the late Mirna Salihin. Good afternoon, sir. What are your opinions and your testimony as the biological father of the late Mirna after her case has been brought up again and is now being discussed by the public?
As a Mirna father, I was convinced by my instinct that Jessica was the killer of my daughter. We have seen, based on the previous court result, that Jessica was found guilty. I have won.
So, are you convinced that Jessica Kumala Wongso is Mirna's killer?
Yes, absolutely. 1,000,000%. This is just for the illustration. So, the bottle like this are common in Australia. This 1 cents exactly 15 grams. If you put in here, it will be a disaster. For example, this is just, I'm not accusing, I'm just telling a story. It has a cap for a bottle. Because I'm the one, it's because my instincts are so strong. Usually, if I say it, it will be so.
But what do you also think about Netflix reopening the Mirna case? And now it's so much talk about, especially now that you're getting quite a lot of attacks because some parties feel that there are many additives that occur from you.
I feel cheated by the Netflix documentary film a few years ago. He and his team interviewed me with nothing in return. I hope viewers won't be fooled by this scam.
Okay then, sir, so what exactly do you think happened if what was shown on Netflix was a lie or a fabrication that was shown to put two different parties?
I was first informed that Mirna, my daughter, had seizure at the cafe. I was shocked and immediately asked, how come? Because Mirna was very healthy. She suddenly had a seizure. I was also shocked. I immediately went to Mirna and immediately gave artificial breath many times, hoping that my daughter would wake up.
Okay, sir, if you just testify that you were the first person to meet Mirna's body and perform artificial respiration. This is one piece of evidence that has been preserved in court. Dr. Jaya said that he was the first. Dr. Jaya was the first to see the body of the deceased Mirna. He said he has smelled the sand in Mirna's mouth and there is no cyanide. If there was, and if there really was 14 grams of cyanide in her body, it is contained that you will die on the spot. What is your opinion, sir?
I said I used my hand to give Mirna artificial breath. I knew her mouth was blackened, so I used my hand, not directly through the mouth.
Yes, artificial breath, right? If artificial respiration is given, it must react because Dr. Jaya himself said that one room could die from smelling the cyanide gas.
It's up to you which one you want to believe. If you don't believe it, there's no need for an interview like this.
Thank you, Naila and Mr. Dermawan Edi Salihin, for your time. Back with me, Aileen Kurniawan. I'm here with Mr. Jaya. Good afternoon, Doctor. What are your thoughts on Mirna case, which has been reopened due to its airing on Netflix and is now trending as #1 topic in Indonesia?
Thank you, Aileen, for having me here. It feels like a journey back in time as this case is quite old and has resurfaced, which surprised me. So here's the background. When I was involved in the Mirna case, I examined Mirna 2 hours after her death. I inquired the cause of death and reviewed the death certificate, which stated that she had seizure right after drinking coffee. Then someone suddenly claimed that she had died from cyanide poisoning.
Then how is it going, Doc? Jessica Kumala Wongso has served a 7-year prison sentence. Has Mirna really been autopsied, sir?
No, there hasn't been an autopsy performed. The family did not consent to it because the cause of death is still unclear and according to the existing laws, an autopsy is required when the cause of death remains uncertain. Currently, there is no clear cause of death.
Then why can Jessica be jailed if Myrna has not been autopsied and there is no clear cause of death?
That's because, according to the judges, prosecutors, and the court, they had already obtained very valid evidence. However, after the incident, one of Myrna's friends tried the same coffee that Myrna had, and nothing happens. It's not just her friend. Even the cafe manager and the barista tried the coffee, but there were no ill effects reported, and this remained the case until now.
Then have you checked Myrna's body or take samples to try to find out Myrna's condition?
Already, 3 days after Myrna's death, I have taken samples from her stomach contents, liver tissue, blood, and urine, and sent them to the lab. The results were all negative for cyanide, except in the stomach. There was 0.2 milligrams per liter of sodium cyanide, while the little dose or the dose that caused death amounts to 150 to 250 milligrams per liter.
Then in Myrna's coffee, how many milligrams of cyanide were found that could cause Myrna Salihan's death?
There was 7,000 milligrams of sodium cyanide in Myrna's coffee. Strangely, the sodium cyanide can become a gas, and with that much dose, one courtroom should be able to faint or even die.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jaya, for all the information.
Good afternoon, marginalized. I'm back with you, Rachel, on this association. I will bring you news about Miss Mita rejection of the group led by James Ronaldo Rossley. It has been reported that one of the 6 groups in Class 9B it has faced strong resistance from Miss Mita when attempting to negotiate in order to lighten the workload for their group by creating only one new topic. The requirement is to create 2 topics, but because their group first topic was already quite long and complex, they thought it wouldn't hurt to create this one topic.
Here I am with James Ronaldo Rossley as the leader and Eileen Kurniawan as the member.
How did you feel when your negotiation was rejected by Miss Mita?
I felt very sad and disappointed. Our team had hoped for a considerable reduction in our workload. However, Ms. Mita responded the requirement was indeed to create the 2 news topics. Therefore, our whole group felt very sad, disappointed, hurt, and struck. When I finished negotiating with Ms. Mita, I delivered the unfortunate news to my groupmate.
After this negotiation rejection, what will you do? Will you try to negotiate again or proceed to create a new topic with 2 topics?
We have considered this in the short term. Initially, we plan to renegotiate with Ms. Mita to extend the due date because some of our members have training session for the upcoming Korean Day event. However, we ultimately agreed that we will create 2 news topics, but with an exceptionally sensational topics.
What if Miss Mita's figure says this news? Do both of you have any words you would like to convey to her?
If Ms. Mita sees this news, we want to apologize for all of the mistakes we have made. We understand that this task has taken up quite a long time, and we haven't finished it yet. We hope that Ms. Mita can understand the situation that is currently happening. We sincerely apologize to Ms. Mita.
If Ms. Mita agrees to the second negotiation, we will certainly do our best in creating new topics and appearance for Korean Day.
In summary, the negotiation between Ms. Nita and James Group took an unexpected turn. Leading to the topic approach, the group apologized for any misunderstood and committed to delivering their best work for the Korean Day. Even second negotiation is approved. The highlight the challenge in collaboration projects the importance of effective communication.